It's Thursday fun. I'm Oople's cat. Time for the pandemic edition of Thursday Fun. The world was gripped this week when Peter, Paul and Mary got together to try and settle their differences, to reform the group again and to make music real again.
We may not have an agreement today, we probably won't, but we have an agreement on other things that are really good. Nancy, would you like to say something?
You should pass it.
No, we
right
don't have
now.
the votes, Nancy, because in the Senate we need 60 votes.
No, but in the House.
And we don't
you
have.
could bring it up right now.
Yeah, but I
today.
can't, excuse me, but I can't.
But that's not the point here. We have a disagreement.
Clearly, Peter, Paul and Mary have got some distance to go to knock down the wall. Abreva UK Prepper, whose name I've tried to say now 12 times and I'm giving up, flu, is trying to answer a question. If you were underwater for 30 days hiding from zombies, would your ferro rod work? He's now on day 11.
Strikes fine still, as you can see. This is this one. They're not as hot as this one, so yeah. Right, that's gone back in the water. As you can see, back in the water. Back in the smelly water because it stinks now really badly.
Also in the United Kingdom, Nigel discovered an essential tool for bushcrafting. You don't need a map, you don't need a compass, you don't need a GPS. What you need is a dog.
If you want to see us, check out a new area and practice some skills. Stage moved a few yards along the main path and found a subsidiary one that seems to be going in the right direction. We're going to follow this and hopefully come to the stream. It's been raining for quite a number of weeks now and some areas are particularly horrible, and this is one of them. And as you can see, Monty loves horrible, lovely squishy mud. So what we're going to do is walk around it and then continue downhill. The other side of the hill is covered with equally lush growth, which means it too will be damp and wet and muddy underfoot, at least at this time of the year. You'd have to filter it first, then boil it, then Steritab it. Here Monty's found some river sand and is having a good dig. Now that the weather's getting better, there's even less excuse not to get out there. Get training. You know it makes sense. It will serve you well.
You gotta love English weather, eh? It's getting worse here, Nigel. In the farmlands of the United States, Abreva also found that having a dog is the #1 prep. But Abreva, he doesn't believe in purchasing a dog, he steals them.
Hey, gotta show y'all something. Gotta show you this dog. Okay? Buddy. Hey. How you doing? Okay. Now, Buddy right here, he's not my dog, but I kind of take care of him when he's here. He comes to visit me. And thing is if you get a dog come to visit you, treat it right because he's on the lookout for you. Dog's right, and they'll take care of you. Okay, see y'all later.
Boom! We are live!
I did it back.
Last
time we found out that most Americans weren't fit to be Americans, so let's find out if you can at least be a Canadian.
Hey?
We're taking the Canadian citizenship. This is a practice test, okay? So the idea is that last week, we took, I came home sick today. Ah, you are sick every day.
No. Polite. Respectful.
Can we become a Canadian citizen? All right. What did the Canadian Pacific Railway symbolize? Okay, what did the Canadian Pacific Railway symbolize? Was it A, easy access to the West Coast? Was it B, what can be achieved by working together? Was it C, unity? Or D, ribbons of steel?
Well, they got it right. Good luck, boys. Canada always welcomes happy people, so come up to Canada, eh?
And hello, boys and girls. This is your old pal, Uncle Al. Today's subject, YouTube 2018, The Sign of the Apocalypse. 2016, YouTube's going down the hill, right? Dino's ancestors. Yeah, all extinct.
Are you saying evolution's an actual thing?
Here's my advice. Deport John Oliver. I think he's English. Deport Trevor Noah from the Daily Show back to England. And back to Canada, Stephen Colbert.
Two things, Uncle Al. I'll forgive you because you're an American. John Oliver was in fact born in England, and I think you can tell by his teeth and his accent. Trevor Noah is in fact South African, and so was born on an entirely different continent from England. And the big error here, Stephen Colbert. Just because he sounds like he's Frenchy, doesn't mean he's Frenchy or Canadian. He was born in Washington, D.C. Just fact-checking you.
Send him back to Canada. Okay? And let's see what you could do to make a nice, happy Christmas. Throw poo.
Truly a dystopian festive scene with a dystopian festive idea. Thank you, Uncle Al. Keep them coming for Thursdays. This next one's really a long video, and it's actually a good video to watch. Grumpy old guy talking to a bunch of millennials in Budapest, Hungary. About war and its inevitability. He doesn't like millennials much. You might not like them either. But he sure knows how to scare them.
But if you don't think there's a global war coming, then you're saying that the 21st century is going to be the first century in which there isn't a global war. Present to you the iPhone. You've seen this. And you guys are so cool that you know that this represents the future and makes you completely different because, well, you're cool. The foundation of this phone is a microchip. The microchip was developed to guide U.S. intercontinental ballistic missiles against Soviet targets. Your innocent little camera had its birth in spy satellites. There's GPS. You love it. You walk around the street looking at it instead of the traffic. You get killed. It's a cool device. GPS was invented by the United States Air Force. It was called NAVSTAR, to guide cruise missiles to their targets. The internet was developed by the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency to move classified data from one secret lab to the other. You then have the cell phone, which most of you don't use anymore because you irritate me by sending me text messages. The cell phone was first deployed in 1985 by the United States Army and was used for the first time in Operation Desert War. And it was entirely invented to facilitate military communication. There was nothing in this that was not created for war. So you think about war as a distant thing. You think about war as something that doesn't really have to do with you. And then you pick up this phone, and every bit of it is drenched in war, in fear of war, and everything else. It would be better if you were prepared for it, if you were aware of it, if you understood the strange statements that are made by leaders actually could not just change your life, but end it. When it starts, and it will somehow, some way, you will be stunned You will say it doesn't have anything to do with you. You will say, I didn't want it. I'm a millennial. I get to choose.
Well, that's it for me from a festive Friday, which is actually a fun Thursday. I have no idea. I'm really hoping I get better soon. And if I don't, I'm still having fun. But I will cave in and stop videoing for the time being. I do have a few uploads coming on the weekend, the next 2 weekends, and I will try to do videos in between. But if I can't think and I can't talk, maybe that'll add value to my channel. But the one surefire method of getting views is coming up. I suggest we all do this. Outdoor showering. Live stream. Love y'all. Stay prepared.
Wake up, you sleepy head. Put on some clothes, shake up your bed. Put another log on the fire for me. I made some breakfast and coffee. Look out my window, what do I see? A crack in the sky and a hand reaching down to me. All the nightmares came today, and it looks as though they're here to stay.
Meanwhile, in the United Kingdom, it's very hard to do this when you have flu. Meanwhile, Plymouth Fenns. This is never going to work.